Let me share the screen. Okay. So, as Arup said that the focus of today's discussion is on the issues in the 9 and 9C. What we will do is we will make sure that everyone understands the context of the 99C, the forms, the explanation. We will spend more time only on the issues and put your views on the questions also. Okay. So this is our 9. We have the 6 parts. Basically, part 2, where we'll report the liability in table 4, 5. Part 3, the ITC 6, 7, 8. Part 4 is the tax paid and the payable details. Part 5 is the miscellaneous adjustments on the taxes paid and adjusted in the subsequent year. Okay. Table 10 to 14. We also include ITC availed in the subsequent year, ITC reversed in the subsequent year. Part 5 is the other information. Now on 9C, we have 16 tables, 5 parts. Part 2 is the turnover details. Part 3 is the tax payable and paid details. And part 4 is the ITC. Part 5 is the additional liability. I'm just quickly walking over the table so that we know the table numbers when we are talking the subtables. Just to check how the 9C has been drafted, basically we are looking at the compliance with the law. So have we paid the proper taxes is the only question when it comes to audit investigation and everything. And when we say taxes, it is IT gross liability minus ITC. Liability is our turnover multiplied by rate of tax. Turnover, we always say taxable turnover. So the taxable turnover is derived from aggregate turnover minus exempted turnover. And when we say ITC, we talk about eligible ITC. So the tables in 9C are also designed in the same way. Basically, the aggregate turnover is computed in table 5, and any differences we give it in table 6. The taxable turnover is computed in table 7, differences are given in table 8. Liability is computed in table 9 and difference is given in table 10. And table 11 and table 16 talks about liability arising out of ITC. The ITC we do a two-way reconciliation, one with the books in table 12 and 13 and one expense wise in table 14. Difference is explained in table 15. Overall, any tax liability, if needs to be paid, we disclose it in the part 5. Right? This is how 9C is also prepared. Now we will also quickly look at the tables in 3B so that which one we are comparing. We have 3.1. So 1A is all outward taxable supplies other than zero rated. Zero rated is in 3.1B. 3.1C is exempt. So my total turnover matching with the P&L would be 3.1A, B and C. D is the RCM liability. E is non-GST outward, which is 5F. We had 3.1.1 introduced linking with the table 1415 of R1. 3.1.1, we have e-commerce operators where the liabilities payable comes under 3.1.1 and which is table 15 of R1, and table 14 of R1 is 3.1.1 subtable 2. 2 is the subset. The validations that the portal looks for is the turnover that is reported in table 5 of 9C, which is the gross turnover, is compared with 5N of 9 plus table 10 minus table 11. And when we say table 10, it would all amendments done up until 2024 upward and downward till 24. I'll come back to this slide again, whether we have to take it from R1 or 3B. While we are looking at taxable turnover. So the earlier was the gross turnover. Taxable turnover is in table 4. However, the 4N includes two RCM reporting. One is inward RCM 4G and e-commerce operators 4G1. So we eliminate 4G and 4G1. Then we add table 10 and subtract table 11. So the fundamentally, one thing we also need to know now is that table 10 and 11 is only related to taxable turnover and not exempted turnover. So exempted turnover cannot be reported if missed out in reporting in R1 and 3B cannot be reported in table 10 and 11. It has to be reported in table 5 only. With regards to the tax payable, the payable of 9C is compared with again payable of R9 table 9 plus 10 minus 11. So the only thing which we have to again look at it is this is payable and not paid. If you see the tax table 9 tax payable, this is the tax payable column and not paid column, because the payment could have happened through 3B through DRC03. So what will be there in the 9 paid is only something which is paid through 3B, and it will not be having something which is paid through DRC03. However, 9 payable will be having the total liability. Okay. Now, for the turnover, we all know we need to definitely have whether 9C is applicable, not applicable. The format for arriving at the turnover is from the PAN-based turnover, we split it into GSTN-wise. The derived GSTN-wise is our start point. The derived GSTN-wise is our start point. And from there, we do the computation, and 5P is what we are saying this is the turnover for the purpose of GST, which we will be having invoice wise register subject to my advances. So all invoices and subject to the adjustments which we are referring 5MNO. Subject to these, I will be having all invoices matching to it. While my P&L might not have it going directly with the invoices, GST would be going with the invoices. So my 5P is 9C value, 5Q is 5N of R9 plus 10 minus 11. This is what we have seen. Let's move on to the issues that are going to come up both in table 4 and table 5. Before issues, let's see the subtables of table 4, because we also need to know where we have to report the values in the subtables. So when it comes to the subtables of table 4, 4A to 4E is our gross turnover. 4A B2C, 4B is B2B, 4C is exports with pay, 4D SEZ with pay, 4E deemed exports. This is our the turnover broadly. Apart from the turnover, there is advances. So 4F is advances, unadjusted advances. Then RCM, 4G was all this while was there. 4G1 is a new addition for the e-commerce operators. So this part of this is the turnover. Then we have credit notes 4I, debit notes 4J. Amendment upward is 4K, amendment downward is 4L. These are reporting under 4. My total turnover, if I have to match, it is 5N. 5N is taxable, which is 4N minus 4G, 4G1, exempted 5M. So 5M plus 4N minus 4G, 4G1 is what we will be getting the total turnover. Now, these table numbers and subtable numbers are mandatory. Everyone should be aware of. Only then when we are validating, asking what is done, it would be easy that this is checked. Let's look at the issues that would be likely to come. But before getting on to the issues, any questions to anyone at this point, till this point, we have something to discuss on the tables before we get into the issues likely that one should be aware of. Anyone, any points? Okay. let's get on to the.
Clear. I think it's clear.
Yeah, it will get onto the issues now. So let's start with the, I've listed all the issues, but I want to make it a issue one by one so that okay. First is the advances of the last year. So what do we say about the advance of the last year? The advance that we had received, in fact, which we had a discussion. So how do we report the advances? What do we say about advances reporting? Where is our advance reporting? GSTR 9. This is 4F, advances on which tax has been paid, but the invoice has not been issued. Not covered under A to E above. So the scenario is we have advances received in the year, financial year 22-23, advance of rupees 1 lakh. Invoice raised in financial year 23-24, invoice 1 lakh. So where do we do the reporting in the subsequent table? So let's look at R9 of 23-24, 4B, 4F total. Let's look at R9 of 23-24. First, we'll start with R9 of 22-23. Sorry, this is 4B, 4F total. So what will be the values? Anyone wants to add here?
So last year 4F would be 1 lakh,
Okay.
22-23.
Hmm.
And this year it would not be anywhere else. Considering because it was forming part of my turnover of last year. So therefore, in my view, it would not form part of 4B or 4F of current year. This is my.
So we have one view which says that it would be 1 lakh last year and nil in the current year. Arunji is saying. And by the way, my position is it would be last year would be the same, but in the current year, I would in the way I report, I would report 4B as 1 lakh and 4F as minus 1 lakh. Again, for me, total is nil, but this is how we do the reporting. Because if I now the
Even we are doing the same.
let's look at the explanation.
Sir, agreed, sir.
So explanation uses the word. By the way, we will be violating some or the other tables explanation in preparing GSTR 9 and 9C when it comes to the reporting, because the not all scenarios fit. Now it says the details of unadjusted advances. Advance has been received and tax has been paid, but invoice has not been issued in the current year, shall be declared here. It says if the invoice is not issued in the current year, shall be declared here is what it says. And it says table 11A of R1 to be used. 11A is only advance received, 11B is advance adjusted. That's the part 1 of 11. However, if you see the auto-populated numbers, in GSTR 9 of the current year, it will take the advances received, it will reduce the advances adjusted. The net figure is what which is populated in the annual return by the portal itself. But if you don't adjust, it will not update. If you adjust, it would update and post it. This is done the portal, but the explanation here is not after the advances adjusted. Okay, but here it says unadjusted advances. Now the moment when you say unadjusted advances, here it is saying net, but here it is saying 11A, maybe the value is declared. So somewhere again, they have not clearly had put it. So I would take a position that it would be 1 minus 1 nil. That's one view. What about others?
In fact, we are also following the same approach, 1 minus 1.
Okay.
Yeah, if we put minus 1 only, that taxable value will get matched.
Taxable value and tax thereon. Everything.
Yes. Tax thereon. Otherwise, this will show the excess tax payable. So for that, I agree with Venugopalji that you have to show is that net negative figure is here. That's all.
All right. So can we move to the issue number 2?
Sir, please.
Yes.
So now, issue number 2 is 4G1, okay, which is a newly introduced table. Now, if you look at the 4G1 of the table, this is the aggregate values of all the supplies, net of amounts on which the tax is paid by the e-commerce operator. Now, aggregate value of the supplies paid by the e-commerce operator, we are talking here is Urban Clap, which is doing plumbing services, Ola, Uber, or Make My Trip, unregistered hotels, Swiggy, Zomato. These are the people have two turnovers. One, let's say Swiggy, Zomato, the hotel turnover. Second one is the advertisement. They might do corporate income and everything. Corporate income goes to table 4, the regular section of the table 4, and the e-commerce turnover is going to come here under 4G1. Fundamental question is, if 4G1 is introduced now, while this was the liability and turnover which was there all this while, where was this turnover getting reported earlier? Now, there was no other table. So, was it getting reported or not getting reported? It was earlier, people were reporting under 4A to 4B, between B2B and B2C. It is switched from reporting into these table to ensure that there is a proper segregation between own turnover and the routed turnover. This is switched here. In terms of the validation of this, we need to ensure this is matching with the table 3.1.1, the first one, the A. It is the reported here. Now, anyone has anything to say in this? Anything? Or are we clear?
In the turnover. So that should be considered, sir. GSTR 1.
Yes, sir. GSTR 1.
GSTR 1, there is a separate provision for reporting this turnover.
Correct. Which is table 15.
Yeah, that should match.
Yeah. So I'll say 3.1.1. Both should also match. Okay, now we will move to the another fundamental question.
Mr. Vinajji, before going to the next point, I have a question here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, department is issuing notices based on for e-commerce operators or aggregator operators, based on the TCS directed by them, they're sending the notices. This is the turnover as per the so-and-so return. and but what you are showing your turnover is not matching with it. And the difference between these two turnovers are going to be considered as a undisclosed turnover.
TCS is coming from section 52, which will not be finding any place here, no? Why will TCS come here?
No, turnover, because when we are talking about 4G1 table, the turnover of the other parties we are discussing there.
Okay, there TCS is not applicable, Mr. Suresh.
Yes,
I
yes,
mentioned-
correct.
Is there deducting TDS by these e-commerce operators?
See, there are two turnovers of e-com. I am selling, let's say, mobile phone through Flipkart. TCS
Right.
is applicable.
Mm,
I will be reporting my turnover in 4A or 4B. E-commerce operator will not be reporting that turnover in 4G1. Second is I am Ola Uber. So I am a driver giving the services through Ola. My turnover doesn't get reported here, while Ola reports that turnover in 4G1.
okay.
For the 4G1 turnover, there will not be TCS.
Okay. Is there any column where the service aggregator is reporting the turnover of the other parties?
That is 4G1.
Where TCS
No,
is coming to
with the
picture?
TCS or without TCS?
With the TCS.
If it is with the TCS, I am only a facilitator. This turnover will never be reported by me in anywhere in the GSTR 9.
Okay. Then my independent question, which is similar to this, now based on the TCS returns, the department is understanding that your turnover should be X, but you are reporting X minus Y, and the difference they are considering as a undisclosed turnover.
To whom? Are they issuing it to the seller
Taxpayer.
or to the e-commerce operator?
Yes. No, they are issuing to the seller based
that
on the
is their
e-commerce
right.
operator TCS return.
That is right. What their department is doing is right. If I am selling through Flipkart, that forms part of my turnover. It should be part of 4A, 4B, which is not there. So what department has done is right.
But the turnover, what has been actually done, that TCS e-commerce operator reporting wrongly in his returns.
In fact, e-commerce operator shows, okay, if they are doing wrongly, is like instead of showing a TCS credit to Arubdi, they are showing it to Venu. That e-commerce operator has done wrong. I cannot be held responsible. But if they have shown it to me, then definitely it should match.
Hello?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Suresh, hope it is clear.
It's clear. Only my concern is how we are handling the situation when we are facing the department on behalf of the taxpayer.
Sir, I am still not getting how can there be an error? What department is doing is 100% right. If I made a sale through Flipkart, Flipkart has done TCS, I should definitely be showing the turnover here.
See, why come across a situation where error is there? Some cases they are reporting the transaction gross value, including the GST portion. Some cases they are reporting the taxable value. That is one of the observation we observed while doing this
Maybe
reconciliation.
small time e-commerce operators would have done. Okay, that is kind of a error in someone has done an error. How do I handle? Notice side, let's not get it. Let's first get it. What value were to be reported? If an e-commerce operator has wrongly done a reporting of it, how to handle notice? I think that's not the subject for discussion today.
Okay. No. Just I'm asking whether is there any separate column to reconcile? That is the objective I asked.
No, sir, it's like it will 100% match. It's like my turnover should be substantially higher than what is there in TCS.
No, interrupt 1 second. 1 second.
Yes, sir.
See, I don't know who is asking that question. Okay.
Suresh here.
Suresh, see, now they have introduced a new table in GSTR 1. That is table number 14. See, that 14 has got two portions. 14, supplies on which e-commerce operators liable to collect tax under section 52. And then on which liable to e-commerce operators is liability under 9.5. So whenever there is a TCS, that should match with the 14A, 14 clause A. So by that we can substantiate it. That is my view. 14.
Okay, got it.
In year 1, they reduced a new thing. This 14. See, actually there was a problem when the first time the hotels were made to the liability for the hotels shifted when they made through the e-commerce operators. So that time where it has to be reported. So that time we did not have this table number 14. Okay. So in that situation, they asked us to put it in the table 1 itself. So, but now there is a separate table 14. So in that you have to report the turnover on which the e-commerce operator has collected TCS. So you can show that, and then if it matches, then there will not be problem. This is my view.
This is what Paul sir is saying for table 14. Liability to collect TCS is one reporting. Liability under 9.5 is another reporting. So this is what the original supplier does the reporting.
Got it, Paul sir and Venu sir. Thanks.
So coming back here, now the another question is the values that are coming in 4G1. So there is the table 3B and table R1. So whole of the values that come into table 4, should it be from R1 or should it be from 3B? Though this is the very old fundamental question. Where should these values be coming from?
Sir, my view would be GSTR 3B.
Okay. Others? Unni sir is saying books.
Yes, Unni sir, I say Unni sir is right. It is as per books because the purpose change that or the substituted GSTR 9. So substituted 9 is very, very crucial. That made it is as per books. See, originally it got the different wordings. Okay. Details of outward supplies declared during the financial year. That was the word. Now after that, when they substituted, they say outward supplies made during the year. So it should come from the books as per Uniji. So that is correct view.
Okay. Soumya ma'am says is it has to be R1.
R1 part 2 heading, sir.
Yes, sir. That is where I am at. Details of outward inward supply made during the financial year. I get you. Okay, so let's look at this way. Let me just be clear this. Now, I'm only talking about the tax. In R1, I have disclosed as 1 lakh tax. In 3B, I have disclosed, let's say I have paid 50,000. And books, there is a tax liability of 1.1 lakh. Okay. Now, what goes to R9?
So which one is correct? Assuming books is correct, then it will goes 1.10 lakhs.
Assuming books is correct. Let's always presume books is
Yeah,
correct.
right, sir. So if tax is not paid at all, then also we have to add in the table 4. So 50 lakh, basic 50 lakh because that it is as per 3B plus 60 lakh more because it has not been paid at all. So I am adding in the table 4.
Okay.
So the total 1.10 lakhs.
Okay. So Arunji is now saying that we will go with the books. Okay. My view, okay, which has been, this is my position is, I will always go by the tax paid. Okay. Now when I say tax paid, it would be, yeah, handwriting here. So tax paid, I would say 3B plus DRC 03. Now when DRC 03 is before filing annual return, after filing annual return, this is what is the taxes that are paid. Okay. Now, if the taxes are paid according to me, okay, is 50,000, what goes to R9 is only 50,000. Even though books is 1.1, what goes to 9C is 1.1. What goes to 9C is 1.1. What goes to 9 is only that amount where the taxes have been paid. The paid could be through 3B or through DRC03. 3B when I say previous year, current year. Knowing there is a liability which is not paid cannot be formed part of your annual return. And again, the instruction that I am using here is where is the PDF? Yeah. So I look at the instructions, which is the details on which the taxes has been paid shall be declared here. However, we may use for the purpose of reporting, we may use the values that are reported. So any of the tables of 110 may be used for filing. R1 tables may be used for filing. All right. But what has to be reported is only when the tax has been paid. If the tax is not paid, cannot be forming part of R9.
Venuji, can you go to this instruction 4 above this table? Instruction. Yeah, instruction 4.
This is where instruction, sir.
No, instruction 4.
Instruction only, sir. I'm in instruction number 4.
Instruction
Is
4.
my screen not visible?
Yes, visible, sir. But it may be noted. Additional liability for the year not declared in 301 may be declared in this return.
That is where I am saying DRC03.
Pardon, sir?
I am saying this portion, okay, whatever which you are saying may be declared here is
Yes.
taxes paid through DRC03.
No, whether you have paid the DRC3 or not, the additional declared here and then you can pay here also. No, that is the issue. If you are not paid.
Okay,
so-
okay. Again, when I use here, I look at wherever the word may is there. So this may, they are linking that, okay, if you have paid some taxes through DRC03, that may be declared here. And when they are using the here in the down tables, they are saying that it has taxes that has been paid shall be declared here.
Sir, can I add one more line?
Yeah.
Sir, if I read the CBIC press release dated 4th June 2019,
Correct.
they were highlighting one point. So, shall I read that line?
Haji, Haji.
So,
Let me see.
for the benefit of all the professional, I am putting in the chat also.
Yeah.
This is 4th June 2019 ka press release. So it says that any additional outward supply which was declared, not at all declared in 1.3b, then also it will be declared in the part 2.
Which one? Which is the instructions?
Sir, fourth, point E, para E.
Yeah.
Sir, want it will come here. This is my only.
So there again, if I see, they are stressing that the additional thing that you are disclosing is shall be paid through form DRC03. So they only want the tax paid details. Payment could be through 3B or through DRC03. But what comes is something which was not disclosed earlier. R1 was nil, 3B was nil, books has that 1.1. Now I am disclosing that through 3B. You disclose through DRC03 and report it into table 4.
Okay, you mean to say before filing the 9, if it is being paid, then only it should be reported.
Correct.
Okay.
Before 9 or when you submit it, at that time you have that DRC03. Basically, I am saying DRC03 should be there for me to report a value into the part 2 turnover table 4.
Fine, sir.
Unniji, I got. Okay, so Unni's point is if 9C is not applicable, I would only take a position whether 9C is applicable, 9C is not applicable. The way it has to be done is the same. If you think 9C is not applicable, you pay the taxes through DRC03 and disclose in table 4. I am not okay. I'm perfectly okay with Unni that point. But if you are not even paying through the DRC03, you are not paying the taxes and you are reporting it in 9, I think that we are violating the instructions. That's my view. Okay. We
Sir,
will-
I had one point.
Yes, ma'am.
Usually, we used to complete the 9 and then later on only they used to pay in 3B, I mean 3, DRC 3.
So that is where I am okay whether you before filing 9, you computed, you filed 9 and you paid DRC03. Eventually, I am saying that DRC03 payment should be there for you to form part of your table 4.
Yeah, agreed, sir. That is, I agreed.
Yeah, if you don't have DRC03, it cannot be in table 4.
Sir, one question from my side,
Haji sir.
that in table 9, there is a summary of tax payable and tax paid. Okay. In that case, what we were doing, the amount which we have paid through DRC03, we were showing as per the books of accounts in table 4, and additional tax liability was being paid through DRC03, as you have said. But in that case, tax payable amount will be inflated, and paid through cash, paid through ITC, they are freezed figures. They are coming from the.
Correct.
So then naturally we are saying that tax payable minus paid through has been paid through DRC03. That is the correct thing now. So here tax payable should be more. In table 9, tax payable should be more. That's correct now?
Correct. Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
My 9 payable minus 9 paid. 9 paid is coming from 3B. 9 payable is 3B plus DRC03. So
Correct.
you will get a notice when there is a mismatch. You will say this is the copy of the DRC03 to the extent of this match. And the 4 payable and 9 payable should be matching. You cannot have
Yes,
a
sir.
different figure of 4 payable and 9 payable.
4 and 9 payable, they match.
They should be matching. Correct.
This is what we were doing. Okay, thank you, sir.
Perfect. Okay. Now, Unni is asking question that, okay, what happens if the books are lower than 3B? For example, we will continue the same that I paid extra taxes in 3B. My 3B is 1.1 and books is only 1. Even then, since you have paid 1.1, you will report table 4 as 1.1. Taxes are paid. Okay. Since you have adjusted, okay, there could be 2 situations. Okay, let me put it. You have adjusted in the next year. So 4 will be 1.1. My table 11 will be 10,000. My 9 payable and 9 paid has taken care to that extent. So my net liability, which is in 9C, is 4 plus 10 minus 11. So it will be coming back to 1 lakh. Is that okay, Uniji? So I would still declare the excess. I would go in table 4, the excess one. Yes, 14 can be negative. Now there could be a situation where Uni is saying that I have not done any adjustment next year. Now, when I'm not making any adjustment, that means I have an option to claim a refund. Or a situation I'm going for a refund. So in that scenario, my 4 will only show 1 lakh and not 1.1. Why? When I am making a refund, that means I have not even paid the cash. So the taxes paid are always net of refund. Then it would be 1 minus 1 point, the 10,000. My 4 will only be showing 1 lakh. Level 11 will not show anything because I have not adjusted anything in the next year. Since I have not adjusted anything in the next year, my 11 will be nil, 4 will be 1 lakh. So 9 payable will be 1 lakh, 9 paid will be 1.1 lakh. So there would be a payable and paid difference. The payable minus paid is another proof for the officer for who is sanctioning the refund to sanction the refund. So these are the 2 situations how you will report when you have made an excess payment.
And sir, third situation is that this difference, this excess payment is detected only at the time of filing of R9. Okay. In that case, my view is that we should report 4 as table 4 as per the books of accounts only. And there in table 9, the tax payable will come lesser than tax paid. And on the basis of this, we will be filing refund.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Right. That's my view. Any other contradictory view? Okay, let's go to the third issue. Third issue is RCM of 23-24 paid in 24-25. So we have paid the liability of 23-24 in the subsequent year. So when we pay the liability in the subsequent year, how do we deal with this situation?
So this will not come in 9 of the 23-24
So sir says it will not even come in 9.
of 23-24.
SK sir, any other view? According to me, this is the only thing still the GSTN has not worked out to give a solution. Imagine there is a liability of 1 crore rupees ka RCM 18 lakhs. In 23-24, I was supposed to pay, but I paid in 24-25. So anything paid in 24-25, then your ITC will be 24-25. RCM liability will be 24-25. I will make an assumption that it is claimed before 30th November. I don't want to get into the dispute, the self-tax invoice, if it is raised, year in which it is raised, we will see that later. I am only saying RCM and ITC, both will be of 24-25, and it will not come into reporting in GSTR 9 anywhere in 23-24 for point number 3. Only saying that, okay, can we not disclose this in 4G and 10 because it is paid in the 3B subsequent year? Again, the answer here is no. My liability cannot be paid for the next year for the RCM. We have an instructions given that the table 10 and 11 should be used for your outward liability. If I disclose in table 10, then the problem would be when you're matching with your 9C. 9C compares your table 7 outward supply liability with 4 plus 10 minus 11. There in 9C, it would be showing an see, whole of GSTR 9, any position you take, you will be violating some or the other value. So it would be showing up something different. The another alternative that you can do is in 4G, whatever you are reporting, you can reduce to that extent in 4A or 4B. That means you have paid the RCM liability, but you have not paid the regular liability. But what happens in 3B? In 3B, now you are saying that I have disclosed as forward charge, but it was supposed to be reverse charge. What about ITC? You will be carrying it to table 13 saying that the ITC of the last year, I have claimed in the subsequent year. To that extent, your 13 will have a value and 8C will not have a value. This is the circus one has to do if one choose to report it into table 10. That's my view, Niji.
Venu sir.
Yes.
Pawan here, sir.
Pawan.
Sir, regarding the RCM to be reported, there is a instruction from the department that RCM which is paid in next year has to be reported in the next year only.
Correct. That is why I'm saying that ITC will be reported in 24-25, RCM liability 24. Everything goes to GSTR 9 of 24-25.
Correct, sir. Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Venu, I completely agree with this. One more point I would like to add. What Pawan was pointing out, so this particular instruction that RCM of the next year shall be reported in the next year only. And there's a contradicting instruction also. In the first 3 instructions, if you see, it gives a general statement that whatever values pertaining to that year shall be reported in that year annual return only.
Correct.
So these 2 instructions are seemingly in contrast, but yes, I agree completely with your assessment.
We while filing R9, we are violating one or the other instruction. Everyone have to violate, only then we will be fitting it.
Yes, more of an art than a science. Yes, absolutely.
Regarding this, Venu sir.
Yes, sir.
Regarding this sentence now, that for the year only the reporting has to be done. My reading is that what taxable turnover we are reporting in table number 4 and also in table number 6 for ITC, that has to be reported for that year only. Whatever is reported of last year, 22-23, being tax paid in 23-24, should not be considered while reporting in table 4. This is what way I am reading the instruction.
So Pawan, just before you joined, we said DRC03 payment will also go to table 4. Liability is of 23-24, but I am paying through DRC03 now in December 2024. Even that will go to table 4. So there is no strict way in which you will reinterpret the instructions.
No, Venu sir, I suppose we are getting confused. I am saying my liability of 22-23, okay, I have paid in say August 23, okay. So I have reported that tax payable in my table number 10 of 22-23. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, while filing the GSTR 9 for 23-24, that part which I have paid in August 23 will not become my part of table 4 of 23-24. What I'm saying.
Agreed.
This is what the way I am reading the instruction, that only reporting has to be done of 23-24 only. Whatever is reported in 22-23, maybe of 10, 11, 12, 13 should not be repeated in 9 of 23-24. This is what I am reading.
Yeah, so that is where we will come with the next issue. Is there will be a difference between 9 payable and 9 paid. Now, why would there be a difference? Whatever, there are 3 differences that would come. If I have paid...
Venu sir, can you just wait for a minute before we go to the next point?
Yeah.
This is Gaurav from Ahmedabad, sir.
Haji, sir.
And then if there is a situation, what you told that if it's a 23-24 RCM paid in 24-25, the way we report is that we report the payable and the paid both in table 10 and 13 respectively of GSTR 9 of 23-24.
No.
And then report it commensurately in GSTR 9C in the comments. Because once I included in table...
That is one view, but I am not going with that view. I am saying that everything will go and report it into 24-25 annual return. If you choose to report it into 23-24 annual return, then first and foremost, it is going into 4G. So to that extent, you have to reduce your 4A or 4B. So you will be saying that I have not paid the forward charge liability, I have paid the reverse charge liability. What is there in table 10 is the forward charge liability pertaining to table 4A or 4B. That's the first position. Second, liability is paid in the last year, but the credit is claimed in the next year. So you will be saying that the ITC is claimed in the next year. So it goes to table 13 of the current year and it goes to 6C or 6D of the next year. In next year, you will not have 4G. So next year, you will be having a lower 4G, a higher 6C and 6D.
Right.
That's another way of reporting.
So, but what will happen is the position that we take an example, there is we did not report a liability of RCM on freight outward payable or freight charges appearing in my P&L, which is there as a forming part of my balance sheet. And I pay it after March 24. I realized it in April 24 and I paid it for the last year. Whenever there's an assessment happening for me, the department will come with that where is this liability of RCM on freight. So I can very well show that I paid it in 10 and 13 and claimed accordingly, and I'm showing it part of my GST and 9C.
Now,
assessment level, I will not be able to justify RCM. It is not forming part of my 9 or 9C.
Right. Agreed. So your 9C will have a difference. As per 9C, your turnover will be 100. As per 9, the turnover will be 110.
No, I will match it, no, sir. When I am disclosing my RCM liability in table 10 and 13, whatever I report in 10 will go higher up and it will match with table 9 of GST and 9C. No? I report my RCM payable in 9C.
No problem. Let me open the instructions for 9C. Look at your 9C table 7. So
table 9, sir.
ना 7 sir. पहले 7 को मैच कर लीजिए, उसके बाद 9 पे जाएंगे. Now if you see in your table 7, reconciliation of the taxable turnover, the taxable turnover is compared with the taxable turnover as per liability declared in R9. This value which is declared in R9 is adding table 10 and 11. So you are disclosing your RCM liability in table 10. While table 7 will not have RCM liability.
A slight correction here, sir. When I am reporting my RCM liability in table 10, I don't reflect my taxable value. I just report my tax.
Oh, okay. So this is the another presentation.
So basically, I have declared my tax there. I have declared my ITC there. And whenever the output tax come payable, when I match it with table 9 of GST and 9C, I'll declare my actual liability of RCM in my 9C.
Agreed.
And as a part of the, and even if there is no difference in the last table of table 9, I'll still disclose a part of reasons in the next table that RCM rupees so and so for financial year 23-24 has been paid in the financial year next, and I'll add all details that I want to.
So, sir is saying, Gaurav sir is saying that I will not disclose the taxable value. I'll disclose tax amount in table 10.
Table 10, yeah.
Now, the question that comes is, this tax amount is somewhere you have to have a justification explanation saying that this is RCM, because you are not having any outward liability on RCM in 3B, but you are having an outward liability in R9.
Yep.
So in any form you do, you need a placeholder to explain where is your the taxes paid and claimed. This is one challenge.
Sir, as you rightfully said, sir, whatever whatever we do, sir, will violate one or the other table.
Correct.
So I mean, the approach that I am taking it as per my understanding is that as far as I'm disclosing all my taxes to the department upfront in my return, I don't have a menthry there.
Agreed. So it's
and disclosing everything in my 9C.
We are violating what as per this table 10 and the instructions, because the instructions says, the press release says RCM shall not be disclosed here. The press release doesn't want RCM to be disclosed in table 10. So we are violating this and we are reporting. It is all for convenience to have a control on the data.
When you started this point, you said that this is one thing that the CBIC has not clarified yet, and the GST and portal has not come with a solution. But that is the way we take it to disclose it, our thing, to the department. Because I think 9 and 9C are the final opportunities for a particular financial year to showcase whatever we already there in my books. Yeah,
I am with you on your point. Somewhere we say, and then we will again come back. But
because there is no option available in 9 to put in comments, but we can always add all the comments in 9C.
Yeah. Yes, someone was saying some other point.
No, sir. The turnover of the overflow of the RCM that can be added in 4G, and only the taxes can be put in table 10, so that we can demonstrate to the officers during litigation that I have paid so much in 3B. The difference in what I have reported in 4G is the liability which I have disclosed in the next period.
Perfect. That is what Gaurav sir is saying, that in table 10, we will not show the turnover, we will show the liability. In table 4, we show the turnover, we will not show the liability.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Okay.
Because if you show liability in table 4, then again you will have another problem in 9C, because 4 and 10 is added twice. So you cannot also have that.
Agreed, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's move to the next question. The 9 payable versus paid. Why will there be a differences between 9 payable versus paid? There will be 3 main reasons. The 9 payable versus paid, the difference would be, fundamentally 9 payable should match with 4 payable, all given point in times. Okay. The edge case I'll tell later. Other than edge case, the regularly, if I have extra taxes paid in the previous year, what I have done, I have reported in table 11 of last year. This year, I have paid the short tax. That means in my 3B of the current year, the tax is lower, but 9 payable is higher. That is reason number 1. table 10 of the last year. So last year I had 100 liability, 80 paid in 3B last year, 20 paid in the current year. So what I would have done in the previous year R9, 80 was in table 4, 20 was in table 10. When it comes to the current year liability, let's say 100, but my liability will be showing 100. My 3B payment is 120. So again, 9 payable and paid will have a difference. Reason number 3, DRC03 payments. I have made the payment through DRC03, which I reported in table 4. So will not form part of 9 paid, but would be there in 9 payable. These are the 3 reasons that you will be getting a difference between 9 payable and paid. Then there is one edge case. What is the edge case? Is you have a liability as like reversal in 4B of ITC higher than what is the credit that you have to claim. Let's say current month, April month, purchase of 100 ITC. May month, I have an ITC of 20 rupees, but whole of 100 of the previous I have to reverse. So if you see 4C of the month of May will be showing a minus 80. 20 credit, 100 reversal, 80 is the net ITC flowing. This net ITC, the negative one which is flowing, will get offset with the 3B. So your 9 paid will be having, and even the ITC payment, which is the short paid, will be eaten away from that 9 paid. That is one edge case. You will have a difference between payable and paid. These are the only reasons why you will have a difference between payable and paid. If you have anything else to comment, please put it.
So what are the ways of reporting this so that the difference gets adjusted? I mean, I have a suggestion what I do for the first and the second scenario.
Right.
If you allow me to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good.
Yeah. What we do is, sir, that anything which is reported in table 10 and 11 of the previous GSTR 9. Example, if I reported something in 22-23 in table 10 and 11, which was for the previous year, and I have paid it or reversed it in the current year, we report as a part of table 4, last 2 columns, amendments without taxable value. So basically, my last 2 tables of last 2 rows of table 4 will exactly match with my table 10 and 11 of the previous financial year. And I have faced several assessments wherein simply showing that is getting it through. I just report my taxes in the last 2 rows of table 4, which are exactly matching with table 10 and 11 of the previous financial year. This will also adjust the tax payable of as per table 9 of GSTR 9.
But I will not agree with that view. Then you are distorting the liability for the current year, no, sir?
No, I'm not, sir, because when you see table 4,
let's say current year liability is 100. Let's say current year liability is 100.
Give me 30 seconds, sir. The table 4, all the line items says net. When I'm reporting the figure net, or whatever amendment, debit note, credit note for the current year that I have done, be it B2B or whatever, I can report it net of amendments in A, B, C, D, E, F, up to credit note, debit notes. The last 2 rows, I only report taxes.
Okay, let's take a simple scenario, what you are saying.
Yeah.
Let me clear the drawing. So let's have 22-23, liability is 100. Okay. Paid 80 in 3B of 22-23. Paid 20 in 3B of.
So just make this paid.
All right.
So just make this paid 30 and reverse 10. So it will cover the second scenario also.
Sir, ज़्यादा complicate नहीं करेंगे, basic ले लेंगे, उसके बाद
ठीक है, okay sir.
ठीक है. In 23-24, let's say liability is 90, so paid 90 plus 20, okay, 110 in 3B of 23-24, okay. Is the facts clear for everyone? Is the facts clear? So now let's come to the reportings. How do we report where? So 22-23, R9, we are talking about table 4 value reporting, table 10 value reporting, and table 9 payable, 9 paid. See, 9 paid, you cannot do anything. 9 paid will show only 80. Okay. The same thing we are looking at what we will report here in the current year table in 23-24 R9 reporting. What will be the 9 paid will automatically come as 110. Now we are looking at what are the values that to be reported. According to me, the way that one has to report, first I'll put my view, then we will automatically change for others. So in in table 4 of previous year, you will be showing in the table 4, you will be showing 80 rupees. Let me change the color. Let's put it as. So you will be showing 80 rupees there. 9 payable will also be 80 rupees. And 10, since you paid, it will be showing 20. And when you come to the current year, your liability is only 90. You will be showing 90 here. The 9 payable will be showing 90. The 10 will be showing 0. Okay. Now, when I do an line to line addition, my table 4, which is 80 plus 90, I have shown 170 in total. Table 9 payable, I have shown 170. My paid is showing 110 plus 80, 190. And table 10 is 20. So which means my total payable and paid when I add multipliers, it is matching. This is how I am proposing for reporting. Now, Gauravji.
So here, the only addition that I would do is that in the table 4 of 23-24 R9, after I have reported 90, take an example, it was all B2B. I would report it under 4AB, whatever it is. And then in the last 2 rows, I am not remembering the table number, so sorry for
4I,
that.
4J.
I will add 20. I'll add 20 in J.
Okay, so you are saying your table 4, you will be showing 90 plus 20.
Plus 20.
And you will be showing the payable as 110.
And when I'm showing 20 in table 4, I will not show the taxable value against that table.
I got it. Right now, I'm only talking about table 9 payable and paid.
Yeah. So this is, when I show 90 plus 20 in table 4 in 2 separate columns, my payable will automatically become 110. Vis-a-vis paid 110, difference 0.
Okay. So this I would not agree, because when notices are generated by the system, whatever the 9 paid, which is showing here, it knows that this payment is including the previous year payment. So the officer can always say that what you have saying that you have to pay 110, and this 110 includes 20 of the last year. There is a short payment of 20. The chance that you will get a notice is there. So I would.
In case of IIT Hyderabad, all cases we are getting notice and just submitting the GSTR 9 of the previous financial year, 22-23 in this case, and highlighting table 10 and 11 is solving the issue out completely. I have several drop notices available with me in DRC 5.
I got your submission. Got it.
Yeah.
Arunji, do you have anything to say here?
So I think I go with your view actually. I think we should disclose it.
Okay. All right, let's move to, actually by 10 I was supposed to complete the outward related. Let's now reasons for what is that you will disclose in my 5O of 9C. My 5O of 9C is something which is people use this as a table where I will, whatever I cannot fit in, or I'll put everything in one go. Okay.
It's called dumping ground.
Yeah, or residual entry, whatever.
Dumping ground, sir.
Okay. So other than real estate industry, where the revenue recognition is on the basis of percentage of completion. So I have to remove all that. Every entry has a finding somewhere in 5A to 5N. 5O cannot be a basis for reporting something which you did not fit it anywhere. So I would say that 5O, if you are having 5O, you definitely need to have a value which an explanation why there is a 5O. So 5O according to me should be like a nil. Cases where I have received income in advance, okay, like an AMC and other services people, where they have raised an invoice in the month of January for 12 months contract. Invoice is there for 100 rupees. P&L revenue is showing only 30 rupees. Okay. That means I have received income in advance. I would still treat that the liability which I am carrying in my the balance sheet, the treatment what we do for advances, where I have received money, invoice is not raised, offered to the tax. The same treatment can be applied even to the invoiced in advance also, and park it into your 5C and 5I. Okay. I would still say that 5O cannot be used for just like that, why your turnover is not matching. So 5O should be nil. Others, any view?
So there are two examples which regularly occur, which we report under 5O, is that many people at times report revenue net of expenses or expenses net of revenue in small cases. So that is what we reflect there, because the financials show a lower figure of both revenue or lower figure of expense, but there is a output on which tax is actually paid.
Okay, so you are increasing. Okay, 5O plus pure agent reimbursements, the rule 33 is not applicable. Though you have credited the expenditure, you are adding to 5O. Agreed.
Yep.
So
Yep.
plus value, department is getting more turnover. Okay, agreed.
Plus, what we also show here is that whenever
Sharon,
of
the
assets.
forex differences, I wouldn't agree, put it into 5O. I will still say put it into 5N.
No, not forex. Whenever there is a fixed asset sale by a private limited or limited company, in the financials, there is a difference because of depreciation.
Valuation adjustments.
So basically, I mean, yeah, valuation, would you take it to the other table, sir?
No. I am agreeing. So valuation adjustment.
So
what is there in my 5A is the
profit or loss
on sale, but what goes to turnover is the taxable value, valuation adjustments.
And basically, sir, the profit as per P&L is not the actual profit or loss.
Correct. So I am not supposed to go to profit. I am supposed to go with the taxable value. That is where I'm saying my valuation adjustments will go to 5O.
Okay. There we show basically two line items. We add the taxable value and we reduce the financial value, so that is clear. And it can match with the financial.
Profit is reduced and full value is added.
Yeah.
Right. So now when I disclose any value here, whatever which is reported in my 9, sorry, in the 5, I need to have an invoice wise working register. This is something which I strongly believe it will match, it should not match. Whatever the value that you are reporting in your table 5 of 9C should have an invoice wise matching, because what goes to GST turnover is only the turnover on which the tax is payable. What is P&L is the accrued thing. So your 5P of 9C, I'm now talking 5P of 9C should have an invoice wise register. What will not match in the invoice wise register is your advances, because on top of your invoices, you are adding advances. So 5P should be matching with the invoice wise register. 5P of 9C should be matching with the invoice wise register. Same would match with the table 4, 10 and 11. Anyone wants to say anything here?
So there's one more thing that we as a regular practice do in terms of 5O here of GSTR 9C. Though table 6 is basically there to explain the difference in the last column after 5O. But
Yeah.
what we as a regular practice do, because there's an umpteen number of columns available and we can keep adding as much as we want, we do a line-wise explanation in terms of the broad heads that amounts reflected in table 5O of the above table includes A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So we give it out everything to department in writing.
That is where we will have a additional thing. That is why I'm saying that 5O should be is close to like nil.
So whenever we have a number there, that
Yeah.
number plus or minus net figure, whatever it is, because the case of a fixed asset that we discuss right now,
Correct,
that we will add back we will reduce the profit and add back the taxable value. 5O will show just one number. So we
Correct.
reflect both these
Explanation.
details as part of table 6A, B, C as the case may be.
Explanation.
Keep on adding.
Yes, explanation we can add. Will better to give that.
So that we give it away directly when we are filing that this is what it includes.
Very true. Now 5P should be matching with your invoice register. Anyone has any difference view? This is something which we should ask for and explain, because this most of the time I have seen people don't pay attention to matching 5P. Your 5P should be matching with your sales register.
You mean to say it should not be arithmetical thing by considering all that unbilled revenue and all, just to Excel and then coming out to 5P, right?
Yeah, after doing all those exercise, whatever the value that comes in 5P should be matching with your sales register. What you have done the exercise of unbilled revenue, advances, opening thing, forex fluctuation, when you do all those things, it will be matching with your invoice register. This is something people don't do a validation check. That is why I brought it here.
Right. This is right. We don't do it normally.
Yeah. So what I'm saying that this has to match. So go back, take a look and see. It will only subject to that advance because I have not raised the invoice for it. Subject to that, it will match with your invoice list. Okay. Moving further, my excess payment of taxes we have discussed. Last one is credit notes. Credit notes which are there in R1 but not in 3B. Can we show it in my R9? So if we have to take an example, let's say we have my turnover is 100 minus 10 rupees credit note and 90 rupees liability, which is matching with my 3B also is 90. Okay. But in my GSTR1, my R1 is showing 100. So what do I report it in my GSTR9? Question clear?
In that case, department will definitely raise a eyebrow, but that how you are reducing it to 90 without issuing any credit note.
Issue किया हूँ, report नहीं किया हूँ.
रिपोर्ट नहीं किया, इशू नहीं किया, या इशू कर दिया, रिपोर्ट नहीं किया मैंने.
Everything one and the same.
हाँ, तो मैंने रिपोर्ट अगर नहीं किया तो मैं माइनस कर रहा हूँ, तो वो जो सामने वाली पार्टी है अगर उसने उसको रिड्यूस नहीं किया अपना ITC, मेरे को नहीं मिलेगा ना ये. That is the point.
So, but now what do I do in my GSTR9? So GSTR9, you have the tables. You have now your 4A, 4I, 9. So what do we report?
4I में तो 10 हमें माइनस करना ही चाहिए, because we have taken a view that it should be as per our books of accounts. 9 should be.
I have not taken as per books of accounts. That is not my view.
But in order to match with 3B and tax payable, I think यहाँ तो show करना ही पड़ेगा.
So you are saying that, let me change the color. So 4A will be showing 100, 4I will be showing 10, 9 will be showing 90 payable. This is what it will be coming in your GSTR 9.
Yes. इस बार से आएगा.
Okay. So I agree with this view. Because I have paid 90, I have 9 payable, 9 paid is this. Now the officer can come back and say that there is no credit note in R1. So your R1 is not matching with your 4I. I will not agree with that, the officer can say, but the reporting has to be in this format, which is 100, -10 and 90 according to me.
Yes, officer तो करेगा इसमें. We will have to satisfy the officer, otherwise. Because if we don't issue credit note, my recipient would not have deducted the ITC also.
Right.
And that certificate will be there from him, then only. That's good.
Right. So let's, these are the various issues which I found it here, turnover related. Let's go to ITC reporting.
Hello.
Sir.
Sir, regarding filing of 9, we have got a case where a government company has not filed any 99C since 1718.
वो तो कुछ करते ही नहीं है. हाँ,
वो कुछ करते. तो 1718 से अब तो 3 साल की एक्चुअली क्या है, I think because for filing 1 year's 9, we should have filed the previous year's 9. That rule is there, no sir?
अभी नहीं है.
आजकल नहीं है, अब नहीं है.
अब नहीं है.
अब हम वो फाइल कर सकते हैं कभी भी, बीच में भी कर सकते हैं. अच्छा, तो हम उसको स्टार्ट कर देते हैं, बट 23-24 से तो स्टार्ट कर देते हैं उसको करना. ठीक है जी.
Correct. Okay, ITC quickly, GSTR 3B, we have 4A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4B reversal, 4C net available, and 4A5 is net of credit notes. This is one point which I want to highlight. Time to time GST has changed. For some period it was in 4B1, for some periods it is 4A5 net of credit notes. And in GSTR 9, we have 3 tables, 6, 7, 8. 6 is availed as per 3B, reversal as per 3B, reconciliation with 2B. And the 9C is table 12 with the books of accounts, table 14 with the books of accounts. 9 is with the ITC register, electronic credit register as per 3B. 9C is as per books. Both contextually different. And what we are reporting in 9 is going into electronic credit ledger. So something is going to electronic credit ledger through 3B, which is table 6B to 6H, net of 7. So 7J. Then direct entry to credit ledger is trans 1, trans 2, ITC 0102. So 6K to 6M. These are the ledgers that are moving in. What I will be validating is my 7J net credit availed during the year would be the 9 paid. I am now removing the last year adjustments. In a normal scenario, table 9 paid plus my electronic credit ledger balance, which is standing as on March 24. If I add both, should match with my 7J, which is what I am reporting as ITC availed. So 7J is not utilization, 7J is availment. So availment should be equal to utilization plus unused is something, another reconciliation that we do. Here comes the issues. In terms of the reporting, the expectation is availed in 23-24 goes to table 6, availed in 24-25 goes to table 13. Reversed in 23-24 goes to 7, reversed in 24-25 goes to 12. 13 and 12 are only an information, doesn't participate in anywhere computation. 6 and 7 participate into the computation. First and fundamental question that comes is, what is ITC of 23-24? When you are saying ITC of 23-24, what does the ITC means? Okay, I will come back to the reconciliation, but let's start with the issues. When you say ITC, what is the ITC? Is the ITC value in the books? value in 2A, value in 2B, or value in 3B. ITC क्या होगा? When I say what is the ITC, it's like I am saying this in the context of ITC reporting availed in 23-24. Which ITC we are saying availed in 23-24? Okay, Soumya madam is saying 3B. I will say it is 2B value. 2B value availed in 23-24, availed in 24-25. It is not books, not 2A. It is not books and not 2A. It is value which is there in 2B. Now, fundamentally, what is input tax credit is 16 subsection 2. We all know. We are presuming 16.1 is fulfilled. Now, even though if it is there in the books of accounts, it will not be treated as an input tax credit. This is a fundamental thing which I want to bring out. Even though you have a credit in books, if it is not there in 3B, it is not an input tax credit. Now we will have a scenarios that it is there in the books, it is there in 2B, but it is there in the 3B late. Ideally, 2B and 3B has to match. Then only that scenario will come. You have availed subsequently, it will be coming in this. For example, books is showing 100, 2B is 80, 3B is also 80. What about the 20? 20 is appearing in the next year 2B and next year 3B. That portion of the credit will not come to your table 13. The portion of the credit which you have availed in the subsequent years, visible in the subsequent years, even though it is there in the books of accounts, will not be reported into table 13. Input tax credit means the credit availed in the electronic credit register. So 16(2) clause D should also be fulfilled. Hence, what goes to table 13 is in 2B and not in 3B. And when I say not in 3B, it has to be in 3B of next year. Only then it comes here. Otherwise, it will not be coming here. Any views, any counter views?
Correctly agreed with this, sir. It's so ITC mean ITC which is in 2B only. That
Correct.
is ITC by which we can take.
Correct.
Correctly said.
Okay. All right. So we will quickly look at other validations also. One should be there. Now, the value tables of 3B and R9 has been given for the mapping purposes. My 6B has the original credit 4A5. 6H is the reclaimed credit which was coming in 4D1 and going to 4A5. So my 4A5 is split into two parts, 6B and 6H. 4A3 is split into two parts, 6C and 6D. If I have made any reporting mistake, that means I have imported the goods. Let's say I have imported the goods and instead of reporting in 4A1, erroneously I have reported in 4A5. What I will be doing in my GSTR9? In GSTR9, even though it is in 4A5, I will be reporting it in 6E and I will not report it in 6B. Clear on this? Now, in terms of matching the net credits, my 6I, which is 6B to 6H, minus 7I, which is the reversals, this value should be matching with my 4C, the net ITC available. I am not talking about the other credits which are going 6M to 6K. So you will only have to match 6I minus 7I should be matching with your 4C. This is another validation one has to check. If this is not matching, then either there is an erroneous credit reported, which is excess or short, or if there is a reversal of credit, which is done in GSTR 9. let's say I have a motor vehicle credit. I have availed it and utilized it. I have not reversed in 3B. I can reverse that now through DRC 03. So like how payment of the taxes, reversal of the credits can be done in through DRC 03. Such reversal to be reported in 7 now. So your 7J or will now not match with your 4C. Whenever there is a differential, the reversal of credit which is done now, you have to cross check, is there a DRC 03 for the reversal or not, is something that you have to cross check. DRC 03 tax payment goes to table 4. DRC 03 ITC reversal goes to table 7. Any different views?
सर आपने ये बड़ा फास्ट कर दिया, थोड़ा सा इसको आराम से समझाएं ये पॉइंट को प्लीज.
Okay. Let's take the scenario where my 2B is 100, 3B is also 100. So that means 4C of 3B is 100. Okay. But 20 is ineligible ITC. I have availed and utilized, not reversed. I am talking 20 is ineligible, not reversed. How will I do a reporting of it in my 3B now, in GSTR 9 now? In GSTR 9, the reporting would be your 6B, 6A will show 100, 6B will show also 100. So 6J will automatically become nil. That is another check that you need to see if 6J is nil. Your 7, you will do a 20 reversal. Your 7J will be showing 80, while your 4C of 3B is 100. So the difference you will be paying through DRC 03, 20 you will be paying.
So sir,
this is how you will be doing the reporting.
In a way you are saying the amount which I have not reversed during 23-24, which I am reversing today at the time of filing 9,
and correct,
should be shown in table 7, sir.
Correct.
Because he is saying the details of ITC reversed and ineligible ITC for the financial year.
Correct.
So ITC reversed and you are taking that ineligible ITC to be also there. It was not eligible to me. Then earlier up till this date, what we were doing, we were saying only which was reversed during the 23 during the financial year, that we were showing here. So you have brought a new thing to me, at least to me, that in case I am still to reverse something, I should show it here. Huh?
Perfect.
But sir, any authority for this? Any?
No.
You are writing it reversed and ineligible ITC, you are saying. That's why.
Correct.
Sir, is there any instruction specific? No.
No instructions.
Achha.
All right. So let's move to the next one. This, when it comes to GSTR,
इसका फायदा फिर ये होगा कि 9C हमारा ठीक हो जाएगा जब इसमें इनएलिजिबल डाल दिया हमने, तो 9C में रिपोर्टिंग में फायदा हो जाएगा हमें.
करेक्ट.
हमने इनएलिजिबल वहां डाल दिया, उसका हम DRC भर रहे हैं.
परफेक्ट.
अच्छा ठीक है.
Now when we are coming with 9C, 9C is as per books, not 2A, not 2B, not 3B. From the books of accounts, from the signed books of accounts, what should have been my credit is what my 9C is talking. So 9C, you will be going with the books of accounts, signed financials. Let's say I will start with the table 12. Whatever is the ITC, that example, another example which I have taken, here, books is showing 100, 2B is 80, 3B is 80, no problem. When it goes to GSTR 9, I will be going with the 2B of that 80. But when it comes to 9C, I will show 100 and I will say this 20, I have availed it in the next year and I will reduce it from my 12. But My whole of table 12 is reconciling with the books of accounts and nothing to do with my your 2A or 2B or 3B. My focus is what is the credit which is in books. Have I availed it in this year? If I have availed something of the previous year, which is also there, I will add it. If I have availed it in the next year from the books perspective, I will reduce it. That's all I would be looking at. If there is a difference that is coming, that is what is explained. Okay, sir.
So here in case of books being rupees 100, 2B is 80, 20 rupees which I have to take in the next year because I have not taken in 23-24 because it was not appearing in 2B.
Correct.
So that 20 rupees I will be showing there to be availed in next year.
Correct.
And if next year up till this date, because next year also November has gone and that amount was not available to me. It never affected.
It never came in 2B, it never came in 3B, no problem.
So
Still, I will be reporting as 100 plus 0 minus 20.
Minus 20, 80. तो 20 मैं फिर माइनस करूंगा कि इसका नेक्स्ट ईयर में ट्रीटमेंट किया मैंने जो भी किया
नेक्स्ट ईयर में मान लीजिए you have only taken 10. In next year your brought forward will only show 10 and not 20.
Not 20. So then that 10 will be left.
Yes.
वो left. ठीक है.
Yeah. Okay. Then comes RCM. RCM, we should always have a reconciliation of 4G and 6C and 6D. This is another validation check that one has to do. Erroneously, you cannot have 4G either higher than 6 or lower than 6. If at all you are having, then you have to add year 1 plus year 2 values. You have to add it just to check that this is right or wrong. Like as Gauravji said, in the liability paid next year, they have taken a position that they will report it in 4G. Perfect, no issue. So then
Venuji, Gaurav here again, one more point here that when you say that you have to check that 4 and 6 has to match in terms of RCM.
Yes.
There are cases where we have 4 which is always higher compared to 6 because we have got product which is exempt on which the royalty RCM is paid to a foreign country. So what we do is we pay the output, but we don't take the ITC at all because we know it is exempt.
Right.
So under 417(2) we straightway to put it out and then it don't go to 42 for pro rata reversals. So in those cases, everywhere we have a 4 which is higher compared to 6 in terms of RCM.
Why don't you report it under 7C?
So because when I report under 7C, I'll have to explain the working on the pro rata part of it. So what we do is we don't avail it at all.
For the purpose of Rule 42 reversal, they want an explanation. I would suggest you report it in 3B. You report it in your 4C and 4B, which is a permanent reversal. And in my R9, report it in 6 and 7C. Your 7J will be 0.
Okay.
That's how I would suggest the reporting as.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And the value of the RCM from the registered person is always available. If I go to my GSTR 9 table 6, you have 2 credits, unregistered in 6C and registered in 6D. So this registered value which is there in 6D is also there in your 2A and 2B. So we have to ensure that the value that is reported in 6D should be a value which is there in 2A, 2B, and the balance is going to 6C. This is another validation check that we should ask the team to prepare and give.
But sir, many register don't upload these values. So it will invariably lesser than what we
exactly. So that is why if you see your 6C plus 6D, it cannot be the lower than 2A or 2B. Your 2B will always be lower than 4G. My 4G should always be higher than the ITC that I have availed. So ये validation हमें करना पड़ेगा. Your 2B table 4, so value that you are reporting in 6D should be higher than the value that is there. So you some have not reported. So 6C is URD, 6D is RD. All right. So the issues thing is last year credit reversed and reclaimed. Now if we have to come back, let us take the scenario where I am now talking about last year. It could be sometimes current year also. Let's take a situation where in my 22-23, I have rule 37 reversal of 20 rupees. Okay. So in 23-24 3B, I will say my 2B is equal to 100. My 2B is equal to 100. 3B is 100 plus 20 of the last year reversal that has happened. Okay. Now, if that is the situation, how are we reporting it in my GST R9? In the current year R9, your 6A, which is auto-populated from 3B, is 120. Your 6B, 6H, 6M. These are the three tables that one has option to report. Now your 8A, which is your value which is reported in 2B, is equal to 100. And your 8B, the value which is coming from your 6B plus 6H is what we are reporting. 8C, what we are reporting. 8D, what we are reporting. Let us look at this and let us see what is the views of the members. The question is clear, na? Why is there a silence?
Maybe very difficult question.
Some answer, right answer, wrong answer.
Sir, ideally it should match 6B and then match with 8A.
Okay, let me tell you what we do, what we suggest and we do. Okay, the way we report. Firstly, we don't use 6M. 6M is like your 5O. So we report 100 in 6B. Reclaimed credit is matching from your 4D1. So whatever the value which is there in 4D1, which we blindly will park it into 6H. In my GSTR 9 table 8, I would be reporting 120, which is coming 8 here. 8C, I will be reporting as minus 4D1, whatever the value which is there in minus 4D1. So that is minus 20. Your 8C will be 100. Sorry, 8D will be 0. This is how I would suggest doing the reporting. Your 6H and 8C will, of course, 8C will have some other things. 8C will also have the 2B not availed, all those things. One of it will be minus 4D1. Any different view?
Ultimately, we take the hit in table 8, right?
Yeah.
Venu sir, rather I will say we should report in 6H we can have a 0 and 6M we can put up the 20 rupees.
Yeah, so this is what I was
also my view, because the point is that Howsoever you put it in the GSTR 9, it is
Yeah.
born that you will quote the notice only. So what working
No,
we
no,
are
no.
there?
Okay. Another
Working
thing I
basically-
want to everyone to know is value that is there in your 8D is linked with the notice. Value
yes,
that
that's
is
right.
there in 6M50 is linked with the notice. Okay. So when the system generated notices are issued, where the way system is configured, if you have a 50 negative in 9C, please ask for an explanation. If you have a value in 6M, ask for an explanation. If your 8D is a negative, ask for an explanation. If your 8D is a positive, ask for an explanation. These are the instructions drawn by the GSTN audit division. So I agree. There is another way of reporting one can think of is, let me change this color now. Let me put it to green. Your 6B, you will be putting 100, 6H0, 6M, you will be showing 20. So when it comes to your table 8, table 8A will be showing 100, 8B will be showing 100, 8C is 0, 8D is 0. This is another way of reporting.
And sir, also this issue also comes up when the goods are not received in the same month. For example, in the March month, goods are not being received to us, and these are received in April month. So the same case also happens for reporting here also.
Every 4B2 credits, if the goods received subsequently, you were supposed to report the credit in 4A5, park it into 4B2, re-avail when the goods have come by reporting into 4D1, 4A5 is what you have to do. So
yes,
every reclaimed credit, you will have this issue.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So we will move to the next issue. I am at 10:43. I should be completing it in some time. Credit note reversal reporting, whether you will do 6B net or you will be showing in 7. Where do you show the credit note? Like 100 rupees goods received, 20 rupees, everything is eligible, 20 rupees sales purchase return, 80 is the thing. Where do I report?
So now from 23-24 onward, it is required to be net ITC only to be taken. So credit note will be coming automatic in 6B net only.
Correct. So Srinivasan sir is saying 7, but I would also go with the Pawan's view that it has to be at a net reporting of 6B. You shouldn't be reporting under 7. If you report it under 7, the another problem is your 8A is showing 80 because it is coming from 2B. 2B is giving you a net reporting. See, somehow we have also become biased. So though it is a GST session, we were supposed to talk on law related, litigation related rules, but unfortunately, sometimes we have to also go with the way the form is. We are now pre-notice consulting stage. So how do I avoid notice is what we are now looking at. The next one is when to and report the values in 6M. For the sake of others, let me just pull this up. 6M is any other ITC availed but not specified above. So if is anyone using this? If you are using, why are you using? Where are you using? As Pawan said, I would want to use this, let's say, for all my 4D1 reporting, I want to park it here. One option, no problem. Any other views for anyone?
So because my for putting in 6M, it is the perfect thing that we cannot put a 4D1 at any of the row from 6B to 6M.
If you go to instructions, Pawan, 4D1 as per the instructions should be in 6H.
Sir, that is specifically for the 180 days payment only. They have mentioned it.
No, not like that. If you let me open the instructions for you. So 6H. It says the difference between the total amount input credit availed, aggregate value of input tax credit availed, reversed, and reclaimed under the provisions of this act. So it is not specifically to rule 37A. It is the amount of the credit claimed, reversed and reclaimed. So you can't have a separate working. Which one I've claimed is like that goods not received. So I have reversed and reclaimed.
What basically we try to do while uploading the GSTR 9C, we prepare a separate report itself. And proper working is being prepared and that is uploaded with GSTR 9C.
Exactly. So if you are reporting under 6M, you are violating the instructions. That is what I'm saying. Anywhere you report, you are doing some violation of some reporting, but you need to have a workings. Okay. Just what are the control points for 6J and 7J? This one has to ensure your 6J should always be a 0. Okay. If this is not a 0, is something that you need to be worried of. Now, let me give you a situation where ITC, which is there as per 2B, ITC as per 2B is, I'm saying now this is as per 2B, is CGST 100, SGST 100, IGST is nil. But what you have taken in 3B is CGST 0, SGST 0, but IGST you have taken as 200 as per 3B. Okay. Now, how will you report it in your 6B? 6A is 0, 0, 200. 2B is 100, 100, nil. What will you do in 6B? Will you report it as 0, 0, 200 or 100, 100, 0? Is this question clear?
Repeat the question, Venugopalji.
2B is 100, 100, 0, sir. CGST, SGST, IGST. Okay. GST at 3B is 0, 0, 200.
It's a case where we have taken ITC under the wrong head, basically.
Correct. What will you do in reporting in your R9? Total credit is matching. You have availed 200, availed 200.
In B, 6B.
6B में क्या report करोगे आप?
6B में तो 200 के नीचे वाली आएगा जो भी उसी हिसाब से करेंगे.
हाँ. So according to me, in 6B, you will report it as 100, 100, 200 and not 0, 0, 200. 3B was wrong. You are supposed to avail this. I have availed it in another way. You are correcting and reporting it into this. Because of this, what will happen? In your 6J, the difference will be, it will show, since you do not have a value, it will give you a negative. It will give you a minus 100 and minus 100 and plus 200. So one of the validation check that you should also have is 6J net should be 0. Interim between the heads, if you have any value, according to me, it is okay. But the validation check that you should have for your 6J is 6J should be always 0. Edge cases, the reversal was higher than the credit, which would have gone to 9 payable and paid. Those are the things I will come later, but I've already discussed. But otherwise, in a normal course, 6J should be 0 and 7J should be matching with your 9 paid and the closing balance.
वेनु सर एक मिनट, जो रिवर्सल वाला जो आजकल है हमारा सिस्टम, that we reverse, we take the credit as per 2B and we reverse it for the goods which received in the next month. Okay.
Correct.
And next month we again take that credit, okay.
Correct.
So my point is that in 6B, this credit will be inflated over the year.
6A will be inflated, not 6B.
6A, of course, when 6A will be inflated, So its corresponding effect will be in 7. It's in 7
No.
other reversal. Okay, that will
No, it will not be. Okay, you are talking about 7 reversal, correct? Corresponding effect, yes.
corresponding. Naturally, that has to be there.
Yes.
And one more thing, sir. In 6A, when we have taken 3-4 times, maybe a figure
2
has
times, yeah.
2 times. So in B also, we have to do the corresponding thing. Na? 6B will be according to 6A only, sir, in that case.
No, 6 to that extent, it will go to 6H. Original claim will be in 6B. Subsequent claim will be in 6H.
6H, okay. Amount of ITC reclaimed. अच्छा.
Correct.
Then it will, तो ऊपर 6A में पूरा आएगा, वो 6B और वो 6H आएगा reclaimed वाला.
Correct.
And this 6H will be corresponding with 7.
Correct.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And minus 8C.
Minus 8C.
8C.
8C में आ गया, हाँ, ITC inward supply other than, अच्छा. ये तो अगले साल लिया हमने.
अगले साल या सेम
मार्च महीने वाला सर यहाँ आ रहेगा. You are right.
हाँ.
Okay. Then thank you, sir.
Okay. 13 and 8C we have seen. RCM paid of last year, current year availed. We have that also. In the year in which you are availing, that is only the ITC. So we have seen that also. Ineligible ITC reversed through DRC 03 will go to table 7. We have discussed that also. The last one. Unavailed ITC. It is there in 2B but not in 3B. कहीं पे reporting आएगा क्या उसका?
इसका रिपोर्टिंग अपने आप 8 में आ रहेगा सर. 8 में आ रहेगा ना अपने आप 8 के minus
8E and 8F. So you have not availed. That is being, it is a lapsed credit and it will be going there.
Okay. ठीक, 8EF में आएगा ये.
Yes. So these are the points I had listed for discussion, both for ITC and this. Any other views by anyone? Let me know.
So what is the view for the table 8C and table 30? It will be mismatch, na, this year or not?
One second, I think Venuji is.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he was on mute and I'm talking. Okay. So when we say about the mismatch between table 13 and 8C, I will now, if you have the ITC of RCM, okay, it is claimed, okay, ITC of RCM, which is claimed subsequently, it will be in 13, but it will not be in 8C.
Correct.
Let's look at the regular credits only. If you look at the regular credits, ideally 8C and 13 should match, because 13 doesn't go with the books of accounts. 13 goes with 2B. That is why I said 9C goes with the books of accounts. Table 9 goes with the 2B and 3B. My input tax credit means, when it comes to definition of input tax credit, it is fulfilling conditions of 16 subsection 2. So all the conditions should be fulfilled. Only that is the input tax credit. Anything other than that is not the input tax credit.
So sir, you mean to say if the ITC is reflecting in 24-25 of 23-24.
Yeah.
And we have availed it. So you are not going to report in table 13 also?
You have it is there in 2B. When is it there in 2B? It is there in next year 2B?
24-25 only.
You will not even report. It is there in the books, but it came subsequently. You will not report in table 13 also.
But I differ, sir. As per I view, we can report it in table 13 only, because it is ITC for the year 23-24, but report it in 24-25.
Now, how do you say this is ITC for the year? What is ITC?
Venu sir has explained it in fundamental in the start of the session, very start of the session. Na? Then we discuss this. That whatsoever will come in 2B, only that will be your ITC. Otherwise, that is not the ITC.
And that is, even though it is there in the books of accounts, if it is not there in the 2B, it is not your ITC.
Because this is drawing from the inference is drawn from 16 to AA, which is being introduced.
Correct.
So after 1st January 2022, this argument cannot be taken that, the books, my ITC is there in the books, so that will become my ITC, because ITC is there in my books, but it becomes ITC, which can be, it is input tax. Okay, till it's my books, it's my input tax. Once it is coming in my 2B, it becomes input tax credit.
Right.
So that's why in the Act, two definitions have been given. One is for input tax, which is the tax charged by the supplier, which is coming in my books. Another is input tax credit, which is the credit which I can avail.
Yeah.
So here, what Venu is saying is the distinction between input tax and input tax credit. So, agar wo 2B mein aa raha hai, then only it becomes my input tax credit.
So because in 8C, the word is ITC. It is not input. It's ITC.
Yes.
Very nicely explained by Vinu sir. आपने ये सारी controversy खत्म कर दी इसको अच्छे से.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What amount should we report in table 8C? Like whatever is appearing in 2B, or what amount in 8C?
Technically, 8C will be nil, because after circular 170, the going of the credit should be whatever which is there in the 2B, you have to take, whether you like it, not like it. If you don't belong to you, you reverse it in 4B1. So if your 3B and 2B are aligned, your 8C in a normal course will be 0. The only reason why your 8C will come is it is there in 2B, but still not there in 3B. Point number 1. It is there in 2B, but you have availed it twice. So if you are reporting it in 6H, then the 4D1 you will be showing as minus 8C. But if you are reporting it in 6M, the re-availed credit, then 8C will be 0.
Like if I am claiming the ITC in GSTR 3B, but reversing in others table. In 3B, in all other ITC I have claimed, but it is not in my book, so I reversed in table others ITC reversal. So, and reclaim it in next month.
Got it. So now you are talking a scenario where you have availed a credit which is beyond 2B. Then
no, it is in 2B, but it is not in my books. So I have to reverse.
No, it is like 4A5, then 4B2. Right.
If it is not there in the books, why do you want to? Okay, when
No, it is there in the books. It is there in the books. It is come in my 2B, so I have taken it in my 4A5. I reversed it in under 4B2. Temporary reversal. Because abhi ye scenario bol rahe na.
Then reclaim it next month because it is now matched.
Yeah, reclaim. So again it will come in 41.
Correct.
Okay, so 8C में आप कह रहे हैं कि या तो नील रखेंगे हम उसे, हम उसमें वैल्यू नहीं भरेंगे.
अगर आप 6H में दिखा, the 4D1 can be reported in 6H or 6M. If you are reporting as per instructions, you are supposed to report in 6H. If you are reporting in 6M, you are violating instructions. That's okay.
Yeah.
If you are reporting in 6H, then your 4D1 should be reported as minus 8C. So in 8C, you should be reporting minus 4D1 value, because your 8B is including in that value, while your 8A doesn't have that value. So it is more arithmetical reporting but with the controlled numbers ki kaun sa number kahan aa raha hai.
Okay.
And Venuji, jo ek baat bataya na, this is something that we are seeing also now, that because everybody is taking 2B ka figure 3B, 8C ka figures in many cases are coming as 0. This is rightly pointed out by him. So I think we have drawn at a close of 11. We started at 9:01. It is exactly 11 now. So I can't thank Venuji enough, not only for taking out the time to deep dive into the questions, because as Unniji rightly said in the group, that we had decided that we'll not discuss of the primary basic things. What we'll discuss is, we'll discuss about all the final aspects, questions, issues that the members have discussed. And I would also like to deeply thank all the members, because without your presence, the sessions would not be valuable as they are. So thanks to all of you. And I'm sure all of us will have a huge takeaway. For those of you who have missed a portion of the thing, the recording will be uploaded. And if any of the members have joined who are outside the faculty group, thank you so much for joining this wonderful session, because your presence means a lot to us, because ultimately it will benefit one of the other taxpayers and also the tax administrator. So thank you very much, and over to Venuji for his final words. Unniji, you want to share some final words?
Vinu sir, एक last चीज sir,
please.
आधा मिनट के लिए. Vinu sir, अगर हमने 6B और 6H में वो डाल के जब 8B में आएगी फिगर वो, तो 8A से वो डिफरेंस आ जाएगा, एंड दैट डिफरेंस यू वांट टू
नेगेटिव कर रहे हो
विद 7 सर.
No, you will have that 8C as a negative, so that is why your 8D will be 0.
Because this 8D, there will be a difference in 8D.
नहीं आएगा, 8C में आप नेगेटिव करोगे उसको,
नेगेटिव आ जाएगा वो.
हाँ.
नहीं सर, 8A देखो सर, जब 6B और 6H है, दोनों ऐड करके उसमें डालते हैं हम, तो क्योंकि रिवर्सल वाला बार बार जो किया वो तो ऐड हो गया ना सर उसमें.
हाँ सर, इसीलिए आपने 8C में -6H कर रहे हो ना.
अच्छा, 8C में माइनस करूंगा उसको मैं.
हाँ.
नहीं, वो तो अगले बार असर होगा ना. अच्छा, ड्यूरिंग द
ईयर
उसमें करेंगे सर.
ड्यूरिंग द ईयर का भी आप डालोगे उधर.
अच्छा, चलिए सर, ठीक है. थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच सर. थैंक यू.
So thank you everyone, and Venuji, parting words, final words.
See, every
with your video on, with your video on if possible.
Oh, okay. So I'm saying any view that we are taking is we are violating one or the other instructions given in the GSTR Form 9. CBIC should give a detailed circular because notices are driven by some values reported in either 8D or 6M or 7J not matching or 9 payable paid not matching. There are notices which are generated by the audit department if these tables are not matching. So fundamentally, we need to have values for all these exceptions. Like 5.0 according to me is an exception table. So anything when you have these tables which is not matching, you need to have your underlying workings, and that is what one has to look for. With that note, I will suggest that you prepare your workings. 3 साल के बाद जब नोटिस आएगा, जो बंदा 99C किया वो तो कहीं चला गया, एंड हम देख रहे हैं कि ये क्यों किया, ऐसे क्यों किया. एटलीस्ट वी शुड ओनली कीप आस्किंग, जो भी तुम नंबर कर रहे हो एक मेरे को दिखाओ. That is what we have to do it. And on this note, I'll say happy filing, and do you cast your vote.
Yes, you have not casted your vote. Please do cast it. You have time today. And I'll just leave with the word that, what I felt through the litigation that I've handled in the past few years, that GSTR 996 is the mother of litigation. अगर वो ठीक तरह से फाइल करते हैं तो litigation कम हो जाएगा. So thank you very much and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you, and looking forward to meet all of you next Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.